The Mouse Who Knew. The mouse said to the alligator, "Alligator, I'm worried about Frog. She doesn't eat flies, she just sits on the log." "She's looking out for me," laughed Alligator, "watching for trouble." The mouse reported, "But she hasn't eaten, not even a bubble." "What am I to do?" Alligator shook her head, then said, "Little mouse, I'm off to bed." The next day the mouse came and said, "I'm concerned. A fire is coming and our tree will be burned." The alligator scorned, "Little mouse, what am I to do?" "Something," replied the mouse, "something to save the great tree, as he's the bird's beloved house." But the alligator did not listen. The alligator did nothing that day. She just turned and plodded away. The next week Mouse came, begging, "Alligator, something awful has happened to me this morning." Alligator stood in her tracks. "But what am I to do?" Her voice did boom. It was that moment for Mouse that the truth did loom. Something to help me, your little mouse." But the mouse could see Alligator looking down at the floor. The mouse retched, "You do not help anyone anymore. You did not feed the frog, you did not save the tree, you won't even hear out little old me." The mouse thought Alligator would become furious, though she just turned her head and with a flick of mud with her tail she said, "I'm off to bed." The mouse stared after her, more cross than ever. The badger looked at the alligator and offered a feather. He told Little Mouse that if she used the feather, the alligator would never get her. That with it she could stay by the alligator's side, and that all the wrong you did she would just deny. The mouse said, "It is help I need because of what you did. And all this time you're saying you just hid?" The badger raised his lazy paw, but the mouse was running before it could fall. She sprinted away till she ran out of breath. She went to the frog, but she'd starved to death. She tried for shelter underneath the great tree, but was now charcoal and burned up leaves. She would never ask Alligator to help her again. All hope was rotten in Badger's dark den. The mouse realized there was no one to help. She transformed into an eagle and flew to the south. The fury that glowed inside her soul burned out, and within her was only love and no more doubt. She knew that the alligator was bad to everyone, so she lived on her days away from the swamp. The mouse was a bird, vigilant and brave. She fell in love with an eagle for the rest of her days. They were both strong, and for the first time in her life, she finally knew someone was on her side. She never heard from the alligator after that day, which made her more grateful for flying away. The two eagles would help those close to their nest, and she knew now the alligator would face a real test. With no one looking out for her, danger would approach, and with no forest to surround her, she was now exposed. And with the badger, who only pleased himself, the alligator would have no one to help. You see, the mouse was warning when she came to explain, and now the alligator would drown in the rain. And so would the badger in their part of the swamp. Remember, sometimes others mean us harm. Alligator will never turn away and shake her head, because after that flood she has no bed.